Hi everyone. Okay, I am going to read Unique Lesson 11, Chapter 5 with you today. Okay, and that'll be the last lesson for today. Tomorrow we'll read Chapter 6. So let's read Chapter 5. Okay, this is Lesson 11. And this is
Chapter 5, Distance and Height.
Okay, so today it looks like we're going to be learning about distance and height. So we've already talked about different forces of motion like pushing and pulling, gravity, which is a force that pulls things down to the ground. And these are different types of motion, distance and height. And it looks like we're going to probably be learning a little bit about the sport of basketball. That's a basketball right there. So let's see. Let's see if I'm right.
John is learning at home. He is playing basketball. His brother Calvin comes out to play with him.
Okay, so they are going to play basketball. They're learning at home. So he's having his gym class at home.
John and Calvin play basketball. John wants to pass the ball to Calvin. Calvin is far away from him. John must pass the ball a far distance.
Okay, so we're talking about distance right now. So how close or far something is. So John wants to pass the ball to Calvin, who is far away from him. So what can he do to pass the ball to him? A far distance. So if he was close, he could just hand him the ball, right? If somebody's right next to you, you just hand them something. What would you do to pass a ball to somebody far away from you? Maybe throw it. Let's see. Let's see what he does.
Distance is how far or close things are. Calvin is standing far away.
Okay, so here's John, here's Calvin, and John wants to pass the ball to Calvin, who's far away. Let's see what he does.
John must use force to throw the ball. John puts the ball above his head. He pulls his arms back. He pushes them forward and throws the ball hard. Throwing the ball hard makes it move a far distance.
Okay, so he has to use force, so he's going to throw the ball, and that's kind of like pushing it away from him. Okay, so imagine what the motion would be for throwing a basketball high in the air and far away. You have to go up and push it far away from you. Okay, so why don't you try that with your arms? Just imagine you're throwing a basketball. You're passing a basketball. Okay, the harder you push it, the more force you put on it, the farther it goes.
Calvin gets the ball. He shoots the ball and makes a basket. It is John's turn to shoot the ball. Calvin passes the ball to John.
Okay, so John passes the ball to Calvin. He has the ball now, so he will shoot the ball to make a basket. And I don't know, has anybody watched basketball before? You know how it works? The basket is usually high on a pole that's pretty high. It's much taller than you are. So you have to throw the ball up and into a basket. It's not easy to do. They have to shoot the ball, which means throwing it up and trying to aim it into a basket. It's not as easy as it looks.
John wants to shoot the ball. Calvin has his arms up. He is trying to block the ball. How can John get the ball past Calvin?
Okay, so when you play basketball, usually you can't just throw the ball into the basket without having somebody interfere with it, meaning getting in the way. Okay, you try to throw the ball into the basket to make a point, but somebody has to try to block you so you don't get a point. So they do. Okay, that's how That's how you win basketball. You block people from making points and you make your own points. Okay, so Calvin is trying to block the ball by holding his arms up, and then he's ready when he shoots it to hit it down. Okay, so how can John get the ball past Calvin? It will be easier to do as Calvin is shorter than John, but he can throw the ball maybe higher than John can reach. Let's see what he does.
John needs to get the ball up high. He needs to use more force. John bends his knees and jumps. He uses force to jump up high.
Okay. He not just throws the ball, he uses a lot of force to throw it high, but he actually jumps up high himself. That's what professional basketball players do to put the ball in the basket. Sometimes they can jump high and get closer to the basket and put the ball in the basket. And that's pretty talented. Not everybody can do that.
John pushes the ball hard when he jumps. The ball goes up to the basket. Gravity pulls the ball down into the basket. John used force to move the ball far and high.
Okay, so he used force to move the ball far and high. He pushed the ball up and away from him, far away from him, and up high into the air. Okay, and that's the end of that chapter. Now you can read the chapter again at home, one-on-one with somebody to help you, and also have somebody ask you to find some of the vocabulary words. What are some of the vocabulary words we saw in this story? Okay, how about forces? Force. Do you know where force is? Here's force, somebody pushing something away and somebody pulling something.
Force.
Okay, force is a push or pull that moves something. Where is the word push? It's over here in the pink. Okay, push.
Push.
Which is the person pushing a heavy object away from him hard. And pull is the opposite.
Pull.
This person is pulling a wagon toward himself. Okay. What's another force we talked about? The force of something being pulled to the ground? What do we call that? Like the apple falling from the tree? Gravity.
Gravity.
Okay, and then we talked about distance, which is how close or far something is. And we talked about how high or low something is. What's that called? Height. Okay, so find the word distance. Distance is measuring the space between these people. Distance.
Distance.
And height. Do you see the word height anywhere? I don't see high, but I see the word height. I don't see height, but I see the word high.
High.
Which I don't know why she says it like she's saying hi to somebody. That's not the hi we're talking about. High is how far off the ground something is.
High.
Okay. I don't know. She says it in a weird way. It makes it sound like she's saying hi. Okay. So that is our vocabulary. We're going to go on to the questions. You can pause the video now if you want and answer on your own to see how much you know. And then start the video and correct with me. Okay? Number 1.
1. What is this chapter about?
Okay, what's the chapter about? What sport did we talk about? Was it A, soccer, B, basketball, or C, football? Was it soccer?
Soccer.
Was it basketball?
Basketball.
Yes, basketball. Okay, how about number 2?
2. How must John pass the ball?
How must John pass the ball? A, far, B, close, or C, low? Would he pass it far?
far.
Yes, far. He passes the ball far. His brother Calvin was far away from him. Number 3.
What is how far or close things are?
Okay, what word is that to measure how far or close things are? Is it A, speed, B, temperature, or C, distance? Is it speed?
Speed.
No, that's how slow or fast something is. Is it temperature?
Temperature.
That's how hot or cold something is. Is it distance?
Distance.
Distance is how close or far something is. Number 4.
4. Where does John need to get the ball?
Where does John need to get the ball? A, high, B, low, or C, inside? A, do you think it's A, high?
High.
Yes, high. Okay, it's up into the basket and up away from his brother's reach so he can't block the ball. And 5.
5. What is important to know about this chapter?
What did we learn in this chapter? A,
John scores points for his team.
is that what we learned? How about B?
Force can move a ball far and high.
Okay, force can move a ball far and high. Or C?
Basketballs can roll.
Okay, what is the most important thing we learned in this chapter? A, John scores points for his team. No. B, force can move a ball far and high. Okay, so that is chapter 5. And we will continue reading the rest of the chapters tomorrow.